Hello, everyone, and welcome to yet another edition of the Nice News Show. I'm your host for this evening, Kaie, and regular viewers of the show will know that I like to start with a deep and meaningful quote and end with a deep and meaningful quote. So tonight's quote comes from Robert F. Kennedy, and he says, "If our times are difficult and perplexing, so are they challenging and filled with opportunity." We'll be taking a look in just a minute at how some young people have taken advantage of this pandemic and taken advantage of opportunity. But here on the Nice News Show, we are like that old Bing Crosby song. We accentuate the positive, eliminate the negative, latch on to the affirmative, spread joy up to the maximum, bring gloom down to the minimum, because we know if we don't, otherwise there's pandemonium. I said it. I wasn't going to sing it, not going to sing just yet. But as I mentioned earlier, a continuing source of positivity and ingenuity during this pandemic have been children and young people. In just about every show that we featured here on Nice News, we've spoken about how they've really come into their own, caring for their friends, neighbours and loved ones, looking out for their community, whilst coming up with some very creative solutions to some of today's issues like climate change and social and gender issues. UNICEF recently celebrated World Children's Day, where children and young people from around the globe met with UNICEF Goodwill ambassadors like David Beckham, Millie Bobby Brown and Priyanka Chopra Jonas to chat about issues such as the COVID-19 pandemic, climate change and how they envisaged a better future. Now, Orlando Bloom is also a UNICEF Goodwill ambassador. He took part, and I'm giving him a special mention because he spoke to an 11-year-old girl called Maria about how she's taking action to protect the environment in her home country of Barbados. Yes. Anyway, I'm going to calm down now. Maria is the youngest ever award-winning filmmaker in Barbados. She's got her own YouTube channel called Little Thoughts on Big Matters, where she shares tips and tricks on how to reduce, reuse, and recycle. She encourages other young people to do the same and reminds us all that there is no plan B when it comes to this earth and its environment. Take a look at this clip where she chats to her inspiration with Orlando and other bits and pieces that she's been doing.
Hello, how are you doing?
Hello, Maria. I'm so happy to be meeting you. How are you doing?
I'm doing fine. I'm also very excited to be talking to you today.
Well, I'm excited to be talking to the youngest award-winning filmmaker in Barbados. Am I right?
Yes, you are right.
Those of you familiar with Katie Piper will know her backstory. After her then boyfriend held her hostage, stabbed and raped her, she broke up with him. He didn't like that, so along with an accomplice, he threw acid in her face. But this story does have a good ending. Not only has she undergone pioneering surgery to restore her face and her vision, but Katie has also given her voice and her time to causes championing victims of domestic abuse and acid attacks. She's currently waiting for her 400th operation to repair the damage, but that hasn't stopped the trolls coming out of the woodwork to call her repulsive. Now, I just love the way that Katie has responded to this. She says she forgives them, saying, hurt people. So can you imagine the background that this poor person has been through to come from such an angry place? Her motto, which I absolutely love, is, "I may be scarred in my body, but I will never be scarred in my soul." I think that's just a wonderful thing. Never understood why people think it's okay to be on the internet and be mean. I would advise you to please stop being so unhappy. There is so much joy in the world. Look at Katie, look at how she has overcome what has happened to her and is using her experiences as a force for good. This pandemic has meant that we have all had to live our lives a different way and do things differently. One of the things that I've had to start doing or stop doing is wearing lipstick. It's something that I always took for granted. I have a gazillion lipsticks, but when you wear a mask, nobody sees your lipstick. Not only that, but it ends up on the mask and all over your face. So we've now had to start accessorizing our masks with our outfits. But if money is no object, then perhaps you might be interested in this little gem. An Israeli jewelry company has created a diamond-encrusted covering set in pure 18-karat gold and featuring over 3,000 natural black and white diamonds. It's got 210 carats and comes to you at a cost of a cool £1.1 million, making it the world's most expensive face mask. The company says the mask is designed to be 100% wearable and features a slot for a filter. It was commissioned by a Los Angeles-based businessman, and the initial order was placed as an act to help support Israeli industry, as well as the company Aval's 150 employees in Israel and the United States during the pandemic. I can't see me in a 1.1 million blinged out mask, but hey, if somebody offers it to me and wants me to do a product placement, I can't refuse. It would be churlish to refuse. Our next nice news story comes from somebody that we featured on the show previously, Marcus Rashford, who is making the front pages for all the right reasons. You know that he took on Boris Johnson's government about the free school meals during half term and holidays for kids and won. Well, he's now set up a book club which aims to get youngsters reading, especially those from vulnerable and underprivileged backgrounds. Marcus, I love you. I love books. I love books. I love books. The Premier League footballer and campaigner believes that social media obsessed young people should take breaks from their phones and try and engage with a book. Marcus says, sometimes it's just so important to switch off my phone and leave what I call that world. He's teamed up with Macmillan's children's books and will help choose books that he thinks will help young people, will appeal to them from different backgrounds, while making sure that everybody is represented. For children from underprivileged backgrounds, Marcus says he'll be teaming up with charities to give the books away for free, saying, we know that there are literally hundreds of thousands of children across the UK today that have never owned a book, and that has to change. My books are and always will be for every child, even if I have to deliver them myself. Can you imagine how excited a kid would be if Marcus Rashford turned up at the door with a couple of books for you to read? I think that would be absolutely awesome. That's about it for the nice news shows for this edition. Join us again soon, where we'll be giving you more nice news, more feel-good stories from around the world. And just remember, happiness. It isn't a state of mind in which you should arrive, but should be the state of mind in which you should always travel. I travel happy. I hope you do too. See you next time. Bye.